Yo, what's up guys? We're back for another video and today we are doing the World Cup predictions. Now, quick side note, this video is coming out after a couple World Cup games, but don't worry, I've done the predictions before the World Cup started. Just released the video a bit late because I've been just busy this week, but we're here with the World Cup predictions. So let's get straight into it. So, today we've got the group stage. Now, Group A. This honestly probably like it could be the most controversial one because I would say most people will probably put Mexico first. Now, I just think like Mexico is good, but I've heard Mexico fans saying that they'll be surprised if they go quite far. I know like they should have some good, boost from having some stadiums actually like host the World Cup, but I think Czech Republic and South Korea are actually pretty good and underrated in this group. So I reckon they could go pretty far. So I think Czech will get first, South Korea second, and Mexico third. And don't forget, South Korea, they upset Germany that World Cup, so they're pretty good. But I would say Mexico still get through, but they'll be third. And then South Africa, I think they'll be fourth. Then we got Group B, Switzerland, Canada, Bosnia. I think this is pretty simple. I would say Switzerland's the best from my knowledge in this group, going off just like decent knowledge on most teams. I think Canada will just have that edge over Bosnia, especially being in the US as well. But yeah, I reckon that'll happen. And Qatar fourth. I think this one's been the easiest group, Group C. Brazil first, Morocco second, Scotland third, and then Haiti fourth. I think this is just the obvious one. Morocco could overtake Brazil. Scotland could upset, but I think this is how it'll go. And then you got Australia. As an Australian myself, I think we will do well. We could get second, potentially, but I'm going to say third. I reckon Turkey will be the best team. USA second, because USA, as much as people want to try and see them lose, they've got some good players. And then Australia third. And then Paraguay fourth for sure. A lot of these groups, the last is pretty obvious, I feel like. But it could change, but obviously, because there always has to be some sort of upsets, but, it most likely won't happen. And then we got Germany and Ivory Coast. So I think in Group E, I think Germany first, Ivory Coast second. Even though Germany have been a bit of a troll for the past few World Cups, I think they will be pretty good. I think Germany will actually do really well this World Cup. I think they'll look good. And then Ivory Coast second. Obviously, Ivory Coast looking pretty damn good in the friendlies as well. And then Ecuador third. Chelsea fan, obviously, I want to see Caicedo do well, but I think Ivory Coast will get above them. Group F. I'll be honest, I was very close to saying that Japan get first, because I think Japan's very good, but I will say Netherlands get first, Japan second, and then Sweden third, Tunisia fourth. Sweden, I think, look, when you have Graham Potter as manager, I don't think you're going to go too well. I remember him at Chelsea, I just don't rate him as manager, but we'll see. Group G, Belgium, Egypt, I think will get top two, and then New Zealand. My New Zealand mate always gets at me saying they're gonna beat everyone. Unfortunately, I think Egypt will just top them. I think New Zealand's looked a bit rough in the friendlies as well. Like losing 4-0 to Haiti is pretty bad. And then Iran fourth. Again, all these last teams are pretty obvious, I feel like, in these groups, but I could be wrong. And then Group H, we got Spain first, Uruguay second, and Saudi Arabia third, and then Cape Verde fourth. I think this one's a really obvious one. I think this is probably the easiest one to predict. Could be wrong, but I just think Spain's still very strong. Uruguay still got a good solid squad, and then Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia can upset though. I remember they were the one team that actually beat Argentina last World Cup in the group stage, and that was Argentina were the winners, so that was interesting. But yeah, I think Group H will go like that. And okay, my mouse, this rarely happens, but my mouse has ran out of charge. So I'm gonna just do a quick cut and we'll be back for the rest of the. Sorry about that. Trying to get a new battery for my mouse. This is very rough timing. But anyways, let's keep going. So Group I think France, then Norway and Senegal. I know some people, I think I've seen some people say Senegal over Norway. Funny enough, you'll see it later in the predictions, but you know how you always have your dark horse of the tournament? I think Norway will be the dark horse, but we'll get onto that later. And then Iraq fourth. I think this is how it'll go. Argentina first, as obviously I love Messi. Messi's the GOAT, we all know that. I think first, Algeria second, and Austria third. I think Algeria, they're a sneaky one. I feel like they haven't been in the past few World Cups, I think. But I think they'll be a little bit underrated. I think they'll get second there, and then Jordan fourth. Group K, Portugal first. I think Portugal, like Ronaldo, he's not awful, but I say if they stop paying attention to Ronaldo and stop playing like just about the Ronaldo show, I think they'll do better. Same with like Brazil, like the Neymar show. Like if those two countries stop just focusing on Ronaldo and Neymar, I think they'll do better. But unfortunately, that's how they're going. But I think they'll still top this group, as Portugal on paper have a very good squad. Colombia second, and then DR Congo third, and it was Uzbekistan fourth. Last group, Group L. I think England first. Croatia could potentially overtake England, but I think England first, Croatia second, Ghana third, Panama fourth. So that's my predictions. And then the third place finishes. I've sort of like seen which third places could try and get more points based on the group and how good they are. I won't go into too much detail, but I've just gone for Mexico, Bosnia, Australia, Ecuador, New Zealand, Senegal, Austria, Ghana. So my 4 teams that I think will go out is Saudi Arabia, DR Congo, which you could probably agree with, Scotland, which Scotland are alright, but they've got a hard group. And I've tried to see if like every third team will get a win against the last. Haiti looked pretty good. I mean, they beat New Zealand 4-0 in the friendly, so you never know if they can upset Scotland. So I think, and I don't think Scotland get much points against Morocco and Brazil. So I think Scotland and Sweden. I think Sweden is one of the teams that like you look at Sweden and say they're pretty good, but I just think they're not that good personally. Especially Graham Potter, I just don't think they're at all. So those are the 4 teams that I think will instantly get knocked out there. And then onto the round of 32. So we've got South Korea versus Canada. I think South Korea win. South Korea, I think, are just a solid squad. Hard-working. I think they're good. Obviously, with Son Heung-min as well. Everyone loves him. And then Germany versus Australia. When I was doing this prediction, I saw this matchup and I was like, freak. Yeah. Germany are beating us, unfortunately. And then Netherlands and Morocco. Now, most people these days would probably say Morocco, but if anything, I think Netherlands winning here is actually an upset. Because I think Morocco are actually the better team nowadays, but I think Netherlands will take it. I think a lot of the big teams will actually step up this World Cup, personally. And then Brazil versus Japan. I could see Japan winning this, but I think Brazil will win. I think Brazil going out here would be very, very bad, especially with how they focus on Neymar and all that. But I still think they'll get the win here. France versus New Zealand. Worst matchup New Zealand could get. They're going to lose. France will win. France making the last 2 grand finals, winning one of the World Cups. They're going to make it through. Ivory Coast versus Norway. I think Norway will win. Not too much there. Ivory Coast could upset, but I think Norway is their team. Haaland's insane. Czech Republic versus Ecuador. A bit of bias for Caicedo from Chelsea, but I think Ecuador will get the win over Czech Republic. England versus Senegal. There's a world where Senegal somehow win, but I think England will get the job done there. Turkey versus Bosnia. I actually I can think about a few players from these teams, but I don't know these teams too well. But I think Turkey will get the win. Belgium, obviously having the golden era of their generation of players, but always underperforming. But I think they'll get the win against Mexico. Croatia. Some people kind of forget it, but Croatia, the last 2 World Cups, making the grand final and semi-final, and losing to France and Argentina, which were the 2 grand finals last time. So I think Croatia will go far again. I think they'll beat Colombia. Spain over Algeria, I think that's definite. Some people would probably say Switzerland win here, but I think Austria have got the win against Switzerland here. And again, remember, these matchups might be different based on what people have said in the groups, but it's just from my run of the predictions. Argentina versus Uruguay, I think Argentina win this one. Portugal versus Ghana, I think Portugal win it. I think they just win those. USA versus Egypt, I think USA win. And now onto the round of 16. France versus Germany. I'm going to be honest, I could see Germany winning this, and I really wanted to say it because I think Germany will be a lot better than they used to be, and I think they will be really good. But I just think France are too strong. I think France are just way too strong. Their squad's way too good. I just think they'll get the win. Netherlands versus South Korea. Could potentially be a close one, but I think Netherlands will get the job done. I feel like Netherlands is one of the big nations where people sort of could see them losing, but I think they'll win this one. Norway against Brazil. This is my first proper upset, like that you would just look on paper. I think Norway will get the win on Brazil, and I think Brazil will again fail because they just focus a bit too much on Neymar, personally. Just same with Ronaldo in Portugal. Because at least with Argentina and Messi, like, don't want to go too deep to this conversation, but Messi, with age, he's just a playmaker and a goal scorer, and he just grows with age. He never loses his skill. Like, it works for Argentina. They don't actually, they surround the squad around him. They don't just focus on him. So it's good. Side note, well, they do, but like, you get what I mean, right? Like, Messi's a lot more impactful to the Argentina squad than Ronaldo and Neymar are to their country. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't want to upset any Ronaldo or Neymar fans too much. And then Ecuador versus England. I think England get the job done. Spain versus Croatia. Could see this go the other way, but I think Spain will win. Belgium versus Turkey. I think Belgium got the job done there. Argentina versus USA. Argentina, I think, slapped them up. And then Portugal, Austria. I think Portugal destroyed Austria. Now the quarterfinals. France versus Netherlands. I think France will just destroy them. Spain versus Belgium. I could see Belgium winning this. I think Belgium will step up a bit, but I think Spain will win. England versus Norway. I just have with Tuchel finally being the manager for England, an England manager that is not picking favourites like Southgate used to do. I think England's got to at least make the semi-final minimum. I think they beat Norway. And then Argentina versus Portugal. I think this will happen. It will be a generational match, and I think Argentina will come out on top. Semi-finals. France versus Spain. I think France are way too strong. I think France will win. Argentina versus England. I think Argentina. Messi. I'll be honest, it is bias. Messi doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't have to win the World Cup, but I think he'll win against England. And I think it'll be a repeat. I think it will be France versus Argentina again. I just think these two teams just stand out still. Like, not even just going off the last World Cup. I just think these two teams just... Not only they have the skill and the players to get this far, they've just got that aura about them. I just think these two will be in the grand final again. And I think France won't learn their lesson from last time. And I think Argentina will win again. And that's my prediction. Obviously, I might, like... Oh, you're always going to, like, think differently. Like, everyone has their own opinion. So I'm not going to be too fussed if people maybe don't like something I've said about some teams or they have different opinions, which is completely fine. But this is what I think. With Argentina winning, 7% of players predicted Argentina to win. There you go. Predicted England will make it this far, 24%. So that's about a quarter. That's pretty bad. And then... Wow, 22% more percent expect Spain to win over France. I'm very surprised. See, I guess maybe they've just had more fans or more people from their nation, but that's interesting because, yeah, Portugal, no offense, but that's pretty much Ronaldo / Portugal fans. But anyways, these teams, yeah, pretty what you would expect. But yeah, that's my predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later.